What is going on, guys? Before we start talking about anything, if you guys could just hit that subscribe button, that would help me out a shit ton. But now let's get started on why do people hate the new 2020 Supra. Now, it would have been super cool to talk about this video with the new Supra, but one, I'm just a baby channel, so Toyota wouldn't do that for me. And then two, I tried to see if there was any Supras in the area with any of the dealerships, and there wasn't any. Because as long as I got a Supra, I think in any of my shots, it would have been more appealing. But today we're just gonna talk about it because I don't have a Supra, I drive a BRZ. So I wanna say there's three main reasons why a lot of people are hating on the new Supra. Now, they are kind of viable reasons, but at the same time, I think people need to kind of relax about it because they are not as viable as people think. First thing, a lot of people think it's ugly, and we're gonna touch back to all these points. But number one, people think it's ugly. Two, it's not even a Toyota engine. Three, it's underpowered. So looking at the styling of the car, I'll put a clip of it here. I personally don't think it's that ugly. It kind of matches what modern cars look like now. If you guys wanted this new Supra to look like the old Supra, there's no appeal to it anymore because you're just buying an old car again. A lot of people wanted the same look or the same like styling. But look at like an old Honda Civic to a new Honda Civic. They don't look anything alike except for the name is Honda Civic and it's like a four-banger, and that's pretty much the similarities end there. Front-wheel drive, that's it. Looking at the new Supra, you're not gonna get the old Supra. I think looking at the styling, they could have maybe put some things to remind you of the older car, but at the same time, it's a new car. It's a new wave. They're not gonna keep the same look. I think that should have been a bigger point to a lot of people of, yeah, they're releasing a new car. It's not gonna look the same as the old car, and I think having a new look is gonna appeal to a lot more people now because people don't want the old car anymore. Well, they do, and that's why they're so expensive, but they're re-releasing a car with the name to have the heritage, and they don't want the same look. Look at a Mark III Supra to a Mark IV Supra. They don't look anything alike too, and I don't think there was that big of an outrage. People didn't really care until the Mark IV Supra came out about the Supra. Yeah, there was still a following for it, and that was like the holy grail of the Supra. They don't look the same, so why would the new one look like the one that was made in the 90s? I think one of the things that really upset people the most about it also was outsourcing the engine. Now, I can kind of see why this is a big deal. So, Supra is now using a BMW Z4 inline-6 engine because of costing. Now, looking at that, they wanted a decently high-powered inline-6 engine to go with the 2JZ, and that part they kind of brought, which was good, the inline-6 part, but they didn't want to spend all the money on producing a new engine or a new JZ, which in my opinion, I think they kind of should have done it. This car was kind of a rushed car, I think, and I think they want to do it for a heritage edition for 25 years or something like that, but I think they should have gone with a 3JZ maybe, or just a new production inline-6 something. A lot of people are mad about that because they're like, it's not a Toyota, it's Toyota styling kind of, but it's with BMW. So if you want the car, just you can buy a BMW and it's the same thing. A lot of sources now are saying that their dealerships are selling the car for $100,000 for the launch edition. So now it's gonna attract more people to go to BMW because they're not gonna sell their Z4 for $100,000. I wish I had this on camera. I was just driving because I wanted to go to this pier thing because it's a cool area. And I think a tree frog fell out of the tree and landed on my car. This thing was like the size of my fist, and it lands, and I stopped, and the thing just freaking jumps. That thing was huge. But back to the whole engine thing. If Toyota made their own engine, I think the car would have cost a lot more money, and they stated something about that. I think they said it would have literally cost double the amount because of development costs. So it's kind of a good thing that they outsourced to BMW. I think they should have made a new engine and kind of risked it, but that's my personal opinion. So the first thing is, a lot of people think it's ugly. I think it's a cool looking car. I think it's really cool. I've seen a lot of renders for people that want to do wide bodies for it. I think those are absolutely incredible looking. Two, that engine, it's a BMW engine. It's not the most reliable engine statistically, but I mean, we'll see what happens with it really. People don't have them yet. I think like 2 people have them or something. I don't know how many people have them. I just made up that number. but a lot of people don't have them yet. So reliability, we're definitely gonna have to see, because BMWs tend to fail around 100,000 miles. So we'll really see what goes on with the newer engines. And then lastly, a lot of people are really mad about the power. It's super hot, it's super sunny. I'm getting back in my car. I was walking back from the beach to my car, I hear a squawk. There's a motherfucking parrot in the tree. I tried taking pictures of it, but it was like kind of in a weird spot where the sun was. But I didn't know there's fucking parrots and tree frogs in Florida. I guess I should have known that maybe, but like that was wild. I was not expecting that. I've literally just been driving around the different parking lots to have a different background because I'm just sitting in my car the whole time. But the next thing I want to talk about was the power. I'm gonna take a quick Google to see how much power the new Supra is making. The new Supra, according to the Googles, has 335 horsepower. A lot of people were really disappointed in this too, because this car was supposed to be on par with the NSX and the GTR, and it only has 335 horsepower. Now, I've seen a lot of memes, the most memes, I'm gonna put this one on the screen too, about the three like legendary cars next to each other, if I can find it. Oh yeah. So it was the old Supra next to a GTR next to an NSX, and the Supra is the most powerful car out of all three. Then you look at the bottom picture, it's all the new ones, and the Supra is down like 200 horsepower. Now, looking at the Supra, back then, I want to say it wasn't considered like a super duper sports car like it is now. I think when they released it, it was supposed to be more of like a luxury car. I'm probably way off on that. But now it's definitely more of a luxury car than a sports car. They're labeling it as a sports car, but it doesn't really have the power to prove it. I'm pretty sure the car is the lightest of the three cars though, so I'm not sure performance-wise how it works out. Now, I don't know too much about why the Supra has not as much power as like an NSX or a GTR, but I think Toyota was kind of also going with the thing of like they want the balanced car thing, like they're doing with the 86, the BRZ. I think they were kind of going on one of those things, saying you don't want too much power, it will ruin the car is perfect like this. Or maybe they're doing it for tuners because they want people, they want to see what people do to modify their cars. I've heard Toyota's trying to get back into the sports car game, which would be cool because right now there's not really too many sports cars out there anymore that are like more on the affordable side. I mean, the Supra's their high-end one, and it's like $60,000, so it's not like cheap, but it's a sports car that's not $100,000. How did I forget about this point? I guess there's really 4 reasons why people hate it. It doesn't come in a fucking manual. That part bothers me. How are you gonna have a sports car, or a so-called sports car, especially being a Supra, and not come in manual? That's the part that really bothers me. Ever since I started driving manual, I really understand why people like manual, what draws people to manual, and it's a lot of fun, and in a sports car, it makes sense. They don't have a manual Supra. That part is probably the biggest upset for me personally. The body, I kind of like how it looks. I think it's kind of a cool looking car. I don't care that this is a BMW engine. I'm a BMW fan. The power, it's 335 horsepower and like 364 pounds of torque, which seems plenty, and apparently it's super duper lightweight, so it probably feels great. But the fact that it doesn't come in a manual, that does it for me. Let me know what you guys think of the new 2020 Supra. Should it have come in manual? I think it should have, because it's kind of messed up that it didn't. But let me know what you guys think about the new Supra. Comment, like, subscribe, do all the fun shit. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Peace.